I found this post by accident. It just came up on my feed. It's by RT News and it was published in July 2014. But it happened a few years before that, and then they found out, and now they are reporting it. I don't know if all the members of the programme look exactly right, but anyway, I just thought I would put out what RT was reporting in 2014.
Privacy watchdogs are in uproar following revelations the US government may have been behind a recent Facebook experiment. The social media site tried to manipulate the emotions of users by showing them different news feeds. And as Marina Portnaya reports, Washington has an appetite for this kind of research.
There you go. We are one big experiment to them. We're an experiment. They can get away with, to see what they can do to us, to see what we take notice of. This was happening, years ago.
When the world's largest social media platform betrays its users, there's going to be outrage.
The study to see whether Facebook could influence the emotional state of its users on that news feed.
It allowed researchers to manipulate almost 700,000 users' news feeds.
If this kind of thing was happening years ago and Trump came in knowing about deepfake and all the other things, how can he stand there and be president knowing that it's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 times worse now? We all know that it's got worse. How can he stand there and be president? How can we have prime ministers and presidents pretending that none of this is happening when they're the ones doing it to us? So they're making the news and then they're doing experiments on us.
Some saw more positive news about their friends, others saw more negative.
Well, I'm not surprised. I mean, we're all kind of lab rats in the big Facebook experiment.
But it wasn't only Facebook's experiment. Turns out the psychological study was connected to the U.S. government's research on social unrest.
This is really kind of creepy.
And it gets worse. What you may not know is that the U.S. Department of Defense has reportedly spent roughly $20 million conducting studies aimed at learning how to manipulate online behavior in order to influence opinion.
The initiative was launched in 2011 by the Pentagon's Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, otherwise known as DARPA. The program is best described as the U.S. media's effort to become better at detecting and conducting propaganda campaigns via social media.
Translation: when anti-government messages gain ground virally, Washington wants to find a way to spread counter-opinion.
They want to dominate what they call the information battle space.
Right.
So what they're looking at is developing methods and techniques in order to do that. And it gets very scary from the standpoint of where our rights could be violated and, not knowing whether we're receiving accurate information.
Security and privacy researcher Kevin Gallagher says one way the U.S. government can spread misinformation is through fake bots on Twitter.
You're followed by a lot of these accounts who haven't really set up their profiles.
Apparently, I have a bit of a fake following.
Look at this account. It's been tweeting
to my colleagues.
All of your colleagues, trying to get you guys interested in this link.
According to The Guardian, some of the DoD-funded research monitored and analyzed the Twitter feeds of Occupy activists and reportedly went so far as to message unwitting social media users in order to track and study how they responded. In an era of mass information, critics say that manipulating messages is quickly growing into a valuable tool of the U.S. military. Marina Portnaya, RT, New York.
Now, we all know what happened with Facebook, but has it made any difference? I think they're worse today than they were then. Leave your comments below.